Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today, as promised in some of my most recent videos here, we're going to check out some of the ryes that I've picked up on my travels. Now, I picked up this bottle, I think, locally, so this is Pendleton 1910. Picked it up, as always, not prepared for this. Pendleton 1910, $37.79 here locally. I know. Okay, so for starters, this has a special place in my heart. My buddy Jimmer brought over a bottle one night back in 2013, the summer of 2013. I was a bachelor. He was batching it. I had just picked up a brand new bow in preparation for an archery mule deer hunt out in the Badlands in North Dakota. And so the plan was for the night that we would, kind of sling some arrows, get some things dialed in. I hadn't shot archery in I don't know, close to maybe 7 or 8 years at that point. And so was rusty, bought a brand new bow, all kinds of good jazz. So we were slinging arrows, got things dialed in. And then we started what then turned into a tradition of what we called good living nights, where we would cook. One of us would cook something, and so like on Friday nights, it turned into a thing that he's an excellent chef. He cooks all kinds of stuff. I think I do pretty all right myself, and so we made all kinds of foods on Friday nights. And anyways, he brought a bottle of this Pendleton 1910 over because he knew I was a rye whiskey fan. I was drinking Bullet and stuff like that, but that bottle was really what got me into it. There was one other gentleman there by the name of Alex. He joined us that night. Now, I know he went home before the party was over, but it was Jim and I, and we ended up killing the bottle of 1910. And then I had the bright idea. I had made some apricot wine, and it had been going for about a month or so. At the time that we drank this bottle of 1910, and I said, "Hey, let's give that a try." And I had it. It was the cheapest wine you could possibly make. All right, so I had a gallon milk jug. I took the apricots and just dumped them in there with some water. Kind of emulsified them a little bit. Put it in some water. Just a touch of sugar, not a ton. I was using baker's yeast, and then I took a balloon, poked a bunch of holes in it, and I used that as my airlock on top of this jug. All said and done, I bet you I had like $1, maybe $1.50 in this jug, since the apricots were free. And so made this wine, and it was some of the best wine I had ever made. It was a nice, dry, very fruit forward apricot flavor. And what ended up happening was not only did we kill the bottle of 1910, but we ended up killing the entire 1 gallon jug of wine. And I have not been that hungover in quite some time. It was absolutely horrific. He ended up going to work somehow the next day. I don't know how he did it. I went to work. I stumbled into work at I think it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I managed to make it for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half before I had to call it, and, like, just get out of there. I was absolutely worthless. So, anyways, that's my story about drinking 1910. So, in honor of that, he stopped by. He was moving out west, and during that move, he kind of used our house here as a halfway point on his travels. So I picked up this bottle in honor of that, and we each took a little nip off the bottle there just for good times. Now, so this is a rye whiskey. It's aged for 12 years. It's sitting at 80 proof, so 40% ABV. And Normally I see it for like in the low 40s, like $41, $42, something like that. So the fact that I was able to pick it up for $37.79 here locally, not bad. I have seen it as low as $35 in places, but not too common. It is a Pendleton product. It smells like Pendleton. I'd have to say, as far as rye goes, it's not MGP-esque at all. The nose does not have much of that eucalyptus, black licorice, what most people come to think of rye as. Instead, it's very sweet, like hard candy sweet in the nose, and almost fruity. I'm not getting a whole lot, or maybe a botanical. I'm not getting a whole lot out of the nose, to be honest. And at 40 proof, or sorry, 80 proof, I'm not surprised, but sweet. There's some sweet in there, like almost a hard candy vanilla sweetness way in there. Just a touch of rye grain. A little bit of grain dust in there, but not a whole lot. So let's see what we get on the taste. Vanilla and honey sweet forward. Nice smooth transition into like a grainy granola with just a hint of rye spice on the tail end of it. Mostly sweet notes in the beginning and mid palate, just that little bit of spice on the end. Just a really nice, easy drinking. Granted, it's 80 proof, but man, just a nice, easy drinking rye whiskey right there. Yeah, sweet forward. Man, there's almost like a maple syrup component to it. There is that bitter, metallic flavor that you get out of almost every Canadian whiskey. Kind of that metallic vanilla, just um, lingering in the background, kind of a bitter tannin. Um, that metallic is in there, but tell you what, you put that on. Boy, now going back to the glass, it just smells like regular Canadian whiskey. So it switched up on me there quite a bit. But you get a lot of nice sweet flavors in there. Then that metallic, a little bit of bite, a little bit of rye spice in there on the end. It's really nice. This is one that I have no problem. Actually, we'll go for it. Even though it's already at 80 proof, a little bit of water. I bet you, if I remember correct, it's been quite some time. But I'm betting we'll sweeten this up even more. And the nose kind of fractured it, and now it almost has that metallic smell that the taste brings forward on the taste. Yeah, really sweet vanilla, um, kind of tending towards a caramel. Now that metallic came back with a little bit more of a bite. So maybe some ice, maybe some water. Um, it's a really nice, easy drinking Canadian whiskey. If you're into rye, give this a shot because it's very different than, like I said, the MGP profile, which the next one we'll do is this Tin Cup, which is an MGP whiskey that they bottled. So we'll see how those compare. But there you go, $37.79. Not a bad whiskey, especially for 12 years old. Is it a little high for the flavor and what you're getting? Yeah, but most rye whiskeys are starting in that $35 range. So from that standpoint, not a bad deal. Does have that Canadian metallic flavor in there, but not a bad whiskey for what it is. And of course, I got some nostalgia tied to it, so I do still like that. Even if it tasted like dog crap, I'd probably still be a fan of it. But as far as removing myself from that and looking at the actual flavors and stuff that's going on there, not a bad go. If you like Canadian whiskeys, maybe step up to that. To this one, like I said, I'm still a huge fan, and I'd say the flavor profiles are fairly similar of the R&R Reserve, which is, what did I say it was? Like It was like $7.40 when it goes on sale. $10 here locally most of the time. Sometimes you can find it on sale underneath that. Very similar flavor profiles, even though the R&R Reserve is a Canadian whiskey and not a rye. It has a lot of the same components to it. But this does have a nice rye spice on the finish, along with some nice sweet components to it. So drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of R&R Reserve for in your area. Any experiences you might have had with the... Boy, I just said R&R Reserve. Drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of Pendleton 1910 Rye for. There we go. And any comments about any experiences that you may have had with it in the past. You know, it's nothing fancy, but it's also nothing terrible. So there you go. Check out Life and Whiskey if you haven't already on BitChute Minds and soon to be Rumble. Drop a comment down below, hit that notification bell, and share this video with anybody who you think might find it beneficial. If you have any other comments, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you to everybody who's been watching the videos and commenting and liking the videos. I know it's not a huge group of people, but hopefully the ones that are watching this are getting some value out of it. And if you are, please let me know in the comments below. I'll keep things rolling. Like I said, I got about 20 more whiskeys to go. I'm going to break the 200th episode mark in the next couple of reviews here. So keep a close eye on that. I'm sure because I'm doing this in a batch shoot, I won't recognize which episode is actually the 200th while I'm recording it. But I know it's coming up here. It might be one of these or, you know, in the next couple of bottles here. We'll see. But as always, thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate you guys. Have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.